Get back to work. Tired, man. Um, this place is like The Martian on crack. You ever seen that movie, The Martian, with Matt Damon? Right. You gotta figure it out. No, you don't have to fucking figure it out. Why are you going to Mars? You gotta figure it out. Okay. Let's do things right on planet Earth before we think about going to Mars. Okay. Let's apply physics properly before we go fuck shit up somewhere else because we're not applying physics properly on planet Earth. Let's share caregiving accordance need to build to last. Let's forgive that and trespass, love, and eternal faithful peace first. Then we'll make sure that that we have the right bus with the right this and the right that. The way this fucking place is like you gotta have this and fix this. Yeah, I get that. Okay, look. When I have my house in the Gila, I'm pretty certain that that the motor on the pump for the air conditioner for this for that everything will be right to specs, and then it'll have a thing on there saying what you'll know what kind you need to replace it with, because like with air conditioners, if you have a air conditioner and the pump isn't strong enough to fill it up, then it burns out the motor and whatever, and and then if the pump is too much, you got too big of a pump for the thing, that's going to put too much water in, and then the water's going to get everywhere and it's going to ruin your thing too. So you got to have just the right amount. If you put just say you got a big pan of boiling water, or and it's got to have so much water in it to keep the water from boiling over, then you've got to have a pump that puts in just the right amount of water, not too much and not enough. Okay. And so that's the way a lot of the things work around here. And that's the type of thing that you have with all these people that say, they have this thing that they think that me and Suzuki and people like Jesus stuff, that we're irrational, aggressive, charismatic cult leader authoritarians. Okay. That we make ourselves authority by inventing God. Okay. But I'm still, and then they have the thing with their genome sequencing, which they still believe works. And in certain ways, it does work. It's not necessary, but it works as far as following genetic signals and communications and things like that. But that's irrelevant if you're not going to live the Lord's Prayer, right? If you're not going to share caregiving accordance need to build to last, that's irrelevant. Or if you're not going to obey the gracious good shepherd, you can call yourself king, but you're not, right? So there's no king of the UK, because no one in the UK is standing up to live the Lord's Prayer and making sure that we have the authority to save ourselves from egotistical, violent, selfish conflict that tries to destroy everything we need because of what we want, which is discussed in the Bible, the Quran, so on and so forth. Lord of Lords and King of Kings. Odele. Okay, right. So I'm not real frustrated right now. It's more of an agitation than it is a frustration. And they're talking about this new Harry Potter TV show that they're going to make, And it's like, why? Do we fucking need it? Didn't we already have the old movies to enjoy? So we're going to do something because people need jobs and we need to sell shit, right? Share caregiving accordance need built to last. Forgive, don't trespass, love, love, eternal faithful peace. You don't need money. Okay. But you do need common sense and reason. Since when have we abandoned reason for madness, right? So, like on this thing, they had this, what's the name of that? The Bachelor, right? And the golden people are showing up, and they be getting it right there on the beach and acting like they're a fucking spring break, right? And Girls Gone Wild. You watching these people, they be in there like their 40s and shit, and making a show of sex to get on a show to sell products, and they're happy and they're smiling and they do it upright and they party. You got an ex-football player from the University of Florida, same as Tim Tebow. Both played quarterback there. Jesse Palmer, Tim Tebow, both the same. We got to make lots of money, and you got to win, and you got to work hard to get all that lots of money. Well, what about forgive, debt, trespass, love, one, eternal, faithful peace? It doesn't matter if you say Jesus Christ told you to do it or Jesus Christ didn't tell you to do it. It's still dumb as a fucking box of rocks, right? It's fucking horrible, right? And all this stuff with all these professionals, smoke causes this. We know, assholes. Okay. We don't need your drugs to survive this. They had the one with the lady, the commercial on this while the video was playing. And this lady had talked about this thing from Japan that helps you lose weight. And the husband looked at her and said, "Oh shit, you ain't buying that stuff, is you? That shit's expensive." It's like, well, is her health making her sick and causing her to die? Well, it would spend the $2,000 on it. Make sure she's healthy and happy and lives longer. Don't you love her? You know, you got to work more. Well, you accept money over the Lord's Prayer, you stupid fucking cow, right? Thing about it is, you park all the cars, bars, and wars. You share, giving credits to be able to build to last. People aren't going to need drugs to lose weight because they're retaining the stuff. They're getting the toxins and the stress in the environment start to shut you down because you're stressed and you're depressed. And then when I say stressed and depressed and I'm in my ecosystem and it's okay, it just takes a little bit to make me go right back into it. Okay. The pesticides and the Roundup is like, but you live in one of the more better parts of Las Cruces. Yeah, I understand that. But every little bit kicks me right back in. And I ask them, please don't, I'll take care of it. I'll do everything. But it happened worse this year. And I was like, I know how this stuff works. Okay, I know what they're doing with it and how they do it. And if they don't have people plugged into computers, then they're using some kind of a different program, but it's following the same sequences to maintain the same delusions of power and control. I know how these people work. I can sit there and see what the people that put Trump into office have planned. How they're going to work me, how they're going to try to control me, the whole nine yards. The way they, different shifts and stuff like that. And, they're going to do what they're going to do. My thing is try to get them to realize what they're doing is wrong, stand up for the Lord's Prayer, and just totally reverse yourself. And all the genome sequencing stuff says, he's going to end up killing us. I'm not going to end up killing you all. But if you deny children the Lord's Prayer, and people get mass murdered because you want to fight over money, I will use quantum computing and drones and robotics and satellites to stop you. If you end up getting killed, it's because, David with Goliath, Samson and the Philistines. Life's eternal and grace is infinite. I'm the spirit of the gracious good shepherd. Okay? If you want to, just say Jesus did it. If you want to, say David did it or Moses did it. Okay? Earl's too stupid. He can't figure it out. He's dumb. He's putting the wrong pump on the wrong this, and whatever. I'll check and stuff on the pumps on the thing. I had a pump for some of these other ones. I don't know if that one's pumping too much water. Right now, I need it because the pump died. I'll go check on the one I threw in the garbage can and see what the wattage or whatever is on that one. That's what I'll do. Okay, so we'll do that when I'm done here and loading this. But this is, I got the thing right after the news I record. They have this thing called Entertainment Tonight, right? And it shows all these rich people that are doing stupid things and excessive and compulsive things that are unhealthy psychologically, emotionally, and physiologically. Okay, and they're still doing it, And then they'll sit there and say, well, and it's like, you don't need to be doing this shit. Trust me, I was a better athlete than any of the assholes on Entertainment Tonight or SportsCenter. Okay? It was easy for me. And if I put in half the work that some of these guys do. Okay? Got my weight up to about $195. I'd have been the best running back you guys ever saw play. I would have quit after 4 years. Because I'd want to go love my wife and raise my kids and teach other kids not to do anything psychotic to win. It's just exercise to be healthy. Okay? Yeah, I would have won. Yeah, I would have won everywhere I went. I would have gone to college. Once I got my scholarship, I would have stayed 4 years. Then I would have gone to the pros, got my contract, and then told them, you guys, 4 years, I'm done. I'm going to quit. I'm going to go be with my wife. This is the contract. You can go, okay, great, because they draft me, big time or whatever. They wouldn't even have to have done that. I could have gone to NAU and got a smaller contract and all. I still would have been able to manage my money, figure it out, then go back to NAU and coach and teach for a few years, and then just spend the rest of my time coaching until I was like 50, and then just be able to live off the whatever we set aside. That's just the type of person I am. you know. And then my kids, you know, hey, you're going to try to kind of, I'll be here for you and I'll have things for you and a place for you, you know, but you're going to have to try to kind of be the same way. But we all can't do that. That's what's real hard. We all can't be professional athletes that signed multi-million-dollar contracts. And so that's why you got to be there for your kids. Have a place for them to stay. And you don't have to, you know, failure to launch and no, just you know, have a place on the thing. You got the pool house like Joe Kell Green. You and granddaughter can stay in the pool house until I die, and then have that big house. It's all up to you. You know, it's I don't want to throw you out. I love you. Okay, I can have you right next door for the rest of my life. That's how I am about my kids, right? And so I don't see that type of thing. You know, it's like in olden days, you know, for inheritance and things like that. When you really love someone and they really love you and they don't want to leave because you're not an autocratic, abusive asshole, you're not good enough to beat them. I don't want to beat them. Good for you. You're like your dad. Love you too. So, you know, like I tell Patrick, he said, you know, I didn't quit sports because I sucked. I quit sports because they suck. Anybody who doesn't want to live the Lord's Prayer and doesn't want to enjoy exercise in a healthy manner sucks. Okay. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sucks. Wilt Chamberlain sucks. Michael Jordan sucks. LeBron James sucks. Tom Brady sucks. Travis Hunter sucks. Even Pascal Siakam, because he's not standing up for Lord's Prayer, is sucking right now. And he's a good kid. Okay. He's a good kid. He's dumb as a box of rocks. He's just like Kelly Clarkson. He's just like Jennifer Lopez. He's just like Ben Affleck. They're stupid. Okay. They're dumb as hell. Maybe they have no idea I exist. And the military is so good at making sure that everybody that I'm, you know, they could run me over in the parking lot of Best Buy. And then so maybe I'll just have to isolate, contain, and exterminate most people in close proximity that are genocidal operators that are addicted to it. And then when it becomes more, exposed without exposing it, more revealed. Let's say revealed, because exposed, I'm not going to let everybody see all the stuff. We're going to talk about it. That's that. It happened. It's over with. It ain't happening no more. Let's not talk about it. Let's not make movies about it. Let's not have talk shows about it. Let's not share, care, and like, subscribe, and share. It helps me more than you'll ever know. Just live the Lord's Prayer, you little bastard. I'll kick you in the dick so fucking hard that we'll slap all your vaginas shut that ever ask for money for anything ever again. Thank you very much. You're welcome. I love you. Okay. There is no King of England. No. There's Grace's Good Shepherd of New Mexico. And if any of my relatives in England understand me, they'll stand up so that King George, okay, will be raised in the world by Grace's Good Shepherds instead of murdering dickheads that will fight to fuck over money, right? Yes, I guess that's crazy. I know it's crazy, but do they know it's crazy? They better, because I'm fixing quantum computing. Peace out.